Cool. All right. Well, we have a couple more people that are joining in, but I figured we get started just in the efforts of staying on time here. Thank you first for everyone for joining in on this. I'm super excited to be launching this finally. This has been in the works for a couple months, and we're getting closer and closer to the actual launch date of May 12th. We're looking for being the first meeting here. So this is pretty much what I wanted to do is get people together to learn a little bit more from current members about their experiences in the Denver chapters, and then show a little insight into how Key Connectors and Network in Action is different from all the other groups out there. So wanted to go through, if this works, there we go. Quick agenda, going through agenda items here. Right now, the expectations of this is everyone walks away with a good understanding of what this is. We'll have an opportunity for questions at the end here. And the expectations are really just informational. Hopefully everyone gets what they need from this. We'll go into what's an IA. We'll have a little panel discussion. I will introduce our members here in a moment. We'll hear from some members in Key Connectors right now already, and then we'll have time for that Q&A there. So without further ado, this is our panel for today. This is who I'll be asking questions to, and we'll be discussing a little bit more. So to start off, myself, who am I? I'm a partner at Denver Business Coach. What we do is we help business owners grow and get their businesses to the next stage, prepare to sell, everything like that. And then Sharon here, Sharon is co-owner of Network in Action in Denver with her husband and Denver Business Coach founder, Simon Zareen. And Sharon dedicates her time to support and build the DTC and downtown groups of NIA. We have Mary Gallagher as well. Mary is a CPA and runs her own CPA firm. Mary specializes in working with small business owners and is a member of the DTC group. Kathleen Bowen. Kathleen, say hi.
Good afternoon, everyone.
So Kathleen has been a wealth manager advisor for 30 years and is the owner and president of Mind's Eye Resource Management. Kathleen is a member of the DTC group as well. And then Bill is also on here. I know he's multitasking right now.
You've got my full attention.
So Bill's the owner of Speed Pro Premier and his large format printing company, specializing in signs, large graphics. And Bill is also a member of the DTC group here. What I would like to say before going into the first piece here, if you have any questions and you don't want to forget them, feel free to put them in that group chat box. I see a couple of you are using it already. So if anything comes up and you want it to be answered, I'll try to get to all of them for sure. So before really going in here, Sharon, I'd like to ask you to start off, if you could, and really speak to what NIA is. Why did you decide you and Simon decided to own a couple chapters in the Denver area, and what makes them truly different?
Yeah, thanks for having me, Stephen, and great to meet everybody. I see a lot of people I don't know here. Simon and I, honestly, we weren't franchise shopping. We weren't, looking for another business on top of Denver Business Coach, but we were looking for a new way to network. And we were really wanting a community of like-minded business owners that were seasoned in their industry, that had a lot that they wanted to bring. And we just weren't quite finding what we were looking for. So when we came across Network in Action, we got really excited about joining a group and found out it didn't exist in the Denver area. So we did decide to buy the franchise for Denver, and we started building our groups up a little over a year ago. Mm-hmm. Network in Action is a national professional networking organization that was really created for successful business owners. And, under the premise that business owners are busy, we don't have a ton of time to network, and we need to do it in ways that are going to maximize our time, our resources, and who we're in the room with. So it was really created with that in mind. The way we have it set up in Denver and really across the country with different variations is that our members are expected to attend one mandatory meeting a month, but we offer a lot in addition to that. So we're, especially during the time we're in right now, we're creating opportunities weekly for our members to get together through virtual roundtables, through we provide business development and business training for our members. And Network in Action International is providing a lot also. So there is a lot of opportunities to just gain knowledge and network with a much kind of broader base even than what we have going on here in Denver. We also were really interested in Network in Action because we wanted the opportunity to have really dynamic networking meetings. And I think that's one thing that's really distinct is our agendas are always different. They're always engaging, and they're always created, I want to say, for two purposes. One is to provide opportunities to continue, like every meeting, to build that know, like, and trust factor. So we keep getting to know each other on a deeper level, not like the same thing every time. And then we also have an opportunity to work on our businesses and to come there thinking about our businesses and have time to have discussion, to contemplate different aspects of our business and to be a resource to each other. We know we can all get isolated as business owners, so to have that cohort of peers to share resources and collaborate with is really important. There's so much I can say, Stephen, so I'm trying to, I think one other thing that is really distinct about what we offer is the community builder role, which is the role that I play in our tech center and downtown group, and what Stephen is going to be doing with the Key Connectors group. And what that means is Network in Action is run by professional leadership, and the members get to just, their whole job is building relationships with each other. And we're taking care of everything behind the scenes. So we're not asking our members to take on volunteer roles or, to give of their time in other ways unless they want to. And the community builder is really, taking care of all of those things behind the scenes, running the meetings, and providing a lot of value to the members through our individual interactions with them and through the resources that we're providing. So I think that's one thing that really distinguishes what we're doing.
Yeah, I like the piece that you said there about not having to really volunteer and really kind of just going and doing your networking piece and building that community and letting us take over the behind the scenes factor. I think that's something that's special here for sure. Great. So thanks, Sharon. To Mary, Kathleen, and Bill, I have a couple questions for you just in terms of your experiences of how NIA has been and really kind of get your perspective. All of you have been members for almost a full year, if I'm correct there. And I believe it would be beneficial if each of you could just explain a little bit about why NIA, what attracted you to it, and what you're getting out of it right now. Kathleen, would you like to start us off?
Sure. I was introduced to NIA through one of my business partners who was very active in the business enterprise network. And he's a voracious networker. And I, to be honest, hadn't networked professionally for several years. And I just felt that it was an appropriate time to look for an organization that I could affiliate with. But I didn't want, as Sharon mentioned, didn't have a ton of time to do kind of a weekly networking event or be obligated on a calendar basis to show up once a week to dedicate to that. My practice is an experienced and mature practice, but like all good people that run business, a good business, you need to always continue to grow and thrive. And not only are we in a unique environment most recently, but with the whole disruptor thing going on, with technology really embedding in all of our industries, and just sort of changing the mindset with millennials being so active in business these days, and then the needs of baby boomers and the aging demographics on the other end of the spectrum. It's just very important to be able to get out to all the marketplaces that you can now reach through technology and through professional networking. So one of the big draws and appeals for me with NIA was the once a month getting together with like-minded professionals that wanted to grow their business with other like-minded professionals that were experienced, were credible, but we're still eager to learn, because as an adult learner, you need to keep growing and sharing ideas. We've had a successful practice for many years, but you need to always feed the mill, or put in the pipeline, so to speak, to use an industry term, fill the pipeline with fresh relationships. My firm in particular, we do a lot of generational planning, so to stay on the front edge of networking and, again, technology, so that we can serve younger clients in the family as well as the older generation. So I think it was a combination of those things, getting out of my box too, my own professional box a little bit, because while I've done certainly plenty of social events or gatherings in the community, I wasn't doing anything focused, deliberate, and on an ongoing basis with other professional people. So it was a combination of things.
That community factor, has that been a good benefit for you? Have you enjoyed that piece?
Well, and it's growing with our group in the tech center in particular. There were really three core people that started with Sharon, and it took us a little bit of time to grow, and that could have been sort of like the economy and where we were at the point in time to launch. But we've really added quite a few terrific people, and as I've started to get to know the other members, it's really been beneficial in a lot of ways. I'm kind of behind the curve on doing some one-on-ones because of the social distancing requirements and the stay in place. We were all just really starting to launch doing our one-on-ones, and now with Zoom and so forth, we could do that. But that does take away some of the intimacy of getting to know somebody sort of the way we think we want to in our community. But I'm really developing some good friendships, and professional alliances.
Good. Awesome. Thanks, Kathleen.
Sure.
Bill, Mary, if you all have anything to add on kind of your why NIA, what benefits you've been seeing from it, feel free. We can interject between each other too.
Yeah. A lot of the things that Kathleen said are some of the reasons that I've joined. I actually met Simon about 7 or 8 years ago at a networking group, and that's how I got to know him in the first place. And that group was very beneficial, but it was one of those groups that met on a weekly basis, and it took a lot of time and a lot of volunteer time. And my business has grown to the point where I'm really like Kathleen, just trying to continue to improve and grow it in a quality way more than a quantity way. So looking for something high quality, that this is one of the main things that attracted me to NIA. The meetings are so well organized, they're so well planned, and we don't have to put a lot of our own time into it, yet when we're at the meeting, we're 100% engaged, because it's not the same thing week after week. It's not the same, what we call the elevator speech that we all talk about for 30 seconds, which doesn't really serve us very well. We really want to get to know people really, really deeply. And really the only way to do that is to have these really in-depth discussions that we have once a month, as well as, of course, one-on-ones. But it really feels like when we do a one-on-one that there's going to be a lot more, we're investing a lot of our time, but we're also that's going to be a long-term relationship. That's not just a quickie check off box. I did a one-on-one. There's a purpose. To me, this feels so much more purposeful than a lot of other networking groups. And I never walk out of a meeting saying that was a waste of time, or why, I could have been doing XX instead. That doesn't even enter my mind. So, and all the stuff we've been doing in the last month and a half, 2 months, even with the Zoom meetings and all the resources that have been provided to us, I feel like I've got my own team behind me. Even though I'm a sole proprietor, this feels like my team. So I'm very grateful to have that right now.
Awesome. Yeah, something you touched on there is the quality over quantity. Both you and Kathleen have, and that's an important factor for us. Really making sure that we have people who are in business for the long term. Who know what they're doing, who aren't just kind of putting their toe in the water, testing it out, seeing what happens, trying the entrepreneurship thing. We want people in there who know how to network, who understand the ability and the capability really of having a strong community. So, really having those people in your corner, and the strength of which that community has is an important piece for us to really foster within that group. So thanks for touching on that. And I'm glad to hear that that's actually coming through too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, if I can just add to that real quickly,
Yeah.
Being confident that you're referring a capable professional is really key as well. And building those relationships and having confidence in who you are referring is really a big part of what I feel that's what NIA is going to give us over time.
Mm-hmm. Great.
Yeah, I would only add, for my part, I'm not a strong networker. I consider myself more of an introvert than anything. And it's the format and style, I think, of NIA that has had some benefit for me, because you kind of come ready with something to talk about. And it is beyond the elevator pitch, that you're having just better conversations. I'd also add, too, that it seems that the exercise toward the end of the meetings is dynamite, because it gives me an opportunity to think about my business differently and get different points of view on my business, things that I wouldn't have considered. So the networking action, right? They talk about the key to any training is to take action.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually walk out of a meeting every month with something I can take action on, which has immense value beyond, the standard go around the table, introduce yourself, somebody presents for 10 minutes, and then you leave. And there are also really good snacks.
Snacks are important, though. Gotta have those. Awesome. Thanks, guys. One of the other things that really appeals to me about NIA, and why I'm very excited to be starting this chapter, this group here, is that the added benefits of community building that are in the afternoons, the added support that I myself, Simon, are able to provide, and everyone else within the group can provide each other as well. A piece of that is the business labs that are happening there, and we have one coming up this Thursday, if I'm correct there, Sharon. Bill, could you talk about your experiences with those business labs? I know I've met you once at one of those labs, so I know you've been to them.
Yeah, the labs are, another nice way to, I think, learn about other ways to look at your business, and things to consider. Some of them are a little, things I wouldn't have ever considered, such as dietary, ways to eat well to take care of yourself for your business. The snack part doesn't weigh into that. But there have also been some other speakers who just present about organization and things like that, which have been dynamite. So I rather look forward to those, and I'm disappointed when I can't make those.
So the business labs are, and Sharon, correct me if I'm wrong here, but we scout these people, and then we hire them once a month to have all the groups come together and learn from this individual. It's a great opportunity for people to do cross networking and really learn some applicable skills. They may not have to do exactly with business as Bill was talking about. There was a nutrition one a couple months ago, I believe. So that's one of those really cool things that I think is one of those differentiators there. Mary, do you have anything to add, or Kathleen, about those kind of added benefits, rather aside from just the referral business and the community building there?
No, I don't have anything.
Yeah, and I haven't been able to take advantage of some of the other events that we've been hosting, but plan on it. I also just in this first quarter and a half physically moved my office and my personal home. So my plate has been a little bit fuller than usual. I haven't moved for 15 years, and I haven't moved my office for a little over a decade. So I moved them both at once during the stay in place. But successful. So I'm in a new place in both locations, but that was successful. So I plan on trying to be able to participate and take advantage of some of these additional tools that Bill is referring to and that Sharon and Simon support.
Yeah, and I think one thing I can add is, we've done some like polling of the members to find out like what's going to help you most in your business. The first series that we did was all about marketing because everybody wanted marketing support, so we did a series where we had a social media expert come in. She ended up joining one of our groups. We had a video marketing expert. We had somebody talking about SEO and digital marketing. So, we're really pulling the group to find out, like, what do you guys need? What's going to be the most helpful for you? And then we're really vetting, the speakers that we're bringing in so that we're providing really high quality training. We typically videotape those as long as the presenter is good with it. And then we also put those up on our Network in Action site, which all of our members have access to. So you can go back and, watch those at a later time for most of the business labs if you can't make one.
And if I may add, another advantage of the business lab is, and correct me if I'm wrong, all the groups come together to one place.
That's right.
For the speaker. And so there's an opportunity to meet other people. So while your primary base networking group might be this, well, you also get these other, the advantage of meeting other folks, and you all sort of, are wearing, the same uniform to a certain extent, where you can, say, hey, I'm part of this too. And it's another nice way to make connections. And I've had one-on-ones with people from other groups. So it's a great extension of what you're already into.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah, awesome. So Sharon, real quick there, did I miss any other added benefits aside from that we get people together? We do happy hours as well. I just want to make sure I'm covering my bases there.
Yeah, we, as we start to grow, and I think also once we have 3 groups up and running, we may do a monthly social, whether it's like a coffee or a lunch or a happy hour between the groups. We have Helen here from Houston who wanted to sit in on our Launch and Learn. And, I know they do a happy hour where they combine all of their groups. So as we start to grow, I think we're only going to be offering more opportunities. And then individually, one of the things that Simon and I have been doing during this period of time has been doing member interviews. So Bill and I did one of those last week, which was a lot of fun. And, we did a Zoom interview, and then we just branded it, edited it, sent it back to Bill, and, he can put it up on LinkedIn. He can use it however he wants. So we're just always looking for ways to bring value to our members and to help them grow and succeed. And, behind the scenes, I'm always thinking about, who does Kathleen need to be introduced to? Who needs Mary? Who needs Bill? And that's my job behind the scenes, to be thinking about our members and seeing how to support them.
Yeah, that's it's an important, so in the Denver Business Coach side, what we do, or what we talk about, is we're successful when our clients are successful, and only then. And we really pull that over to how we operate these as well, these NIA groups, of really grabbing hold of, our goal is to make all of you successful, everyone within the chapter. So that's kind of our goal with each one of these too. So that's always in the back of our mind.
Stephen, I'd say another differentiator too are the facilitators. So, our groups had Sharon and Simon, and just meeting you and some of the others that are leading groups, you've got a professional leading the group, and people who have done business development and things like that, or sold businesses, things. So you're getting leadership in these conversations, in these meetings, that again focuses you on business. Whereas a lot of the networking groups that I'm in, the banker is leading it for a quarter, and then the realtor is leading it for the next quarter. And so you don't necessarily get somebody who's narrowly focused on business development and networking. So I find that to be a huge asset.
Yes, the culture stays consistent, which I find is really important in these, because if you're continuously changing that leadership side of the thing, one set of leaders are going to admit, I guess, members that fit their profile, and then the next one are going to fit ones that fit their profile, and you get this mismatch of people within the chat, within the group, and that can over time really kind of provide, or a problem persists after that. So by keeping that leadership consistent, that's really a big piece that we believe is a good value add there. Anything else to add from our panel group here that I may have missed? Cool. Good. I'm going to put Mr. Nate on the hot seat right here. So Nathan is the very first founding member of Key Connectors. And I wanted to ask him the question of why. Why did you decide to jump into a group that has not been formed yet and say, yep, I'm going to be the first one to jump in here and do this? What drove you to that insanity?
Oh, I should have pre-screened these questions, Stephen. That is a hot seat question.
Yeah.
I mean, the bottom line for me, Kathleen, Mary, Bill, they touched on it a lot, and Sharon, I haven't had direct conversations with you, but I know where the philosophy of the group is. So everything you've already talked about, I'm not going to rehash, but all those pieces are a big part. But for me personally, it just came down to, I've sought out other leads groups in the past, and a lot of them were just meeting either too often, or I just didn't appreciate the structure enough. And I'm a big community first person, volunteering, that sort of thing. And I just felt that greater sense of community. And that was kind of the reason that, Stephen and I have formed a bond, especially over the last 5 or 6 months. And I was on board very early, and yeah, I'm really excited about what this group can turn into with the key connectors, which Stephen, looks like there's no going back. It's on the PowerPoint now. So that's
it's official. It's on the slide. That means can't change it.
Hopefully there's no licensing issues, so we should be good.
No, I don't think so. We'll have to create a logo for it or something like that.
Sharon, do we have a name?
We do. We're the Power Connectors.
Power Connectors. Okay.
Yeah, the Tech Center group is Power Connectors, and the downtown group are Master Connectors.
Okay. All right. Good to know.
Master Connectors, Power Connectors, and Key Connectors now. So I'm trying to think. The other pieces here that haven't really been touched on is location too. The location of this chapter, the exact location is yet to be determined, but it is going to be the Lakewood Wheat Ridge area, so West Denver. And the first meeting, as I mentioned, is May 12th, and we will do that virtually. Everyone here is welcome to come to that as well. I think the idea is I wanted to have it in a restaurant, so we can kind of have the opportunity afterwards to network with each other in that setting, and have kind of a fun atmosphere as well. But obviously with what's going on, that's pretty difficult. So we're going to see if we can figure out something in the interim. But as of now, that first meeting, May 12th, is going to be through Zoom, which we have plenty of experience with that. We've been doing it for the last couple months, so we know what's going on there. Great. So I want to, and I know going a little on time here, which is great. I wanted to first pause for a second, see if there's any questions so far. I know I've had conversations with most of you on some of this stuff. I wanted to see if there's any questions directly that I might be able to answer at this moment. I'm hearing something, but.
Hey, Stephen, if no one has a question, I think it would be helpful for the rest of the group to hear a little bit more about your background and what drove you to NIA, because this is a conversation you and I had about 5 or 6 months ago, but probably appropriate at this point.
Great, Nate. Wonderful question. I did not plant that. No. So my background is in business management, change management specifically, getting businesses from one stage to the next. I've been working as a business coach for small business owners for the last couple of years with Sharon and Simon. We have been focusing in on preparing businesses of value to really increase the value of businesses. And what that's led us to understand the benefits of community and really having the strength of a good community behind you, which is why a big reason why we really went into NIA. And that's what has drawn me to it. It's again, the quality piece really comes into it, of having people that are reliable, that don't, or, that aren't testing the waters, right? And that's a big piece for me. I have a horror story that I can tell whoever wants to at some point on that. But it's good to know that the referrals that you're sending out are going to be high quality, are going to be people who are going to stick around and that can really deliver what you're selling. As a business coach, the know, like, and trust factor is extremely important. A lot of the relationships that we build are built on trust. And when you're referring someone out that can't deliver or has a hard time delivering, that looks really bad on us as a business coach, as a trusted advisor. So from that perspective, it's really important that we have that very strong network and community behind us of those people that we know will deliver as we say they will. There's in a sense, I'm dangerous with a lot of different conversations, but I'm not an accountant. I'm not a website designer. I can give you kind of tips and tricks along the way, but to actually have that stuff done, I need someone that I can refer to in order to really make sure that those things are being delivered. So building that strength in community is super important from my perspective there. Thanks, Nate. Let's see. Good. So nobody has questions. That's fine. I like that. We can get going here. Sharon, do you have any questions for me? Did I leave anything out?
I don't think so. You may have shared this already, but I'll just kind of add that, as part of the process, there's every member who comes in goes through an interview process, and we really take that seriously. We're really looking to get to know members, to do that vetting. The way I know Simon and I hold our groups, and I think Stephen will do the same, is we wouldn't have anybody in the groups that we wouldn't personally refer. And so that's a high bar. And that means, that we're going to want to get to know you in the process. And we're also serious about our members increasing their revenue through their membership, and so that's a conversation that we also have with members after they apply, really to find out what, a prospective member, what their goals are, what they want to get out of the group, what kind of financial return do they want to see, and also what do they have to give, because we're really looking for people who want to contribute and want to invest in a community, not who are going to expect hey, where are my referrals, after the first few meetings. We know it doesn't work like that. So, it's a two-way street, and we're really taking the time, and that might be that not everybody's a good fit, and we're okay with that. We'd rather grow slower and have the right people in the room. We're not about filling out these big, huge groups. That's a question that we get quite often, but even 20, 25 members is pretty robust, given the kind of work that we're doing with each other and the way the groups are designed. So it's really about quality membership and taking the time to be sure we have the right people.
Yeah, and something you reminded me of when you were saying that is the factor of the quality of people in there is you get out what you put in, right? We're not, the people that we get into the groups are, as you mentioned, interviewed and vetted by ourselves. And we will only get people into the group that we believe will be beneficial and actually do the work. I'm not going to be holding everyone accountable to be meeting with each other or having to submit a certain number of whatever, because I believe that everyone that I have in the group will be doing that work anyway. And that's not something that we need to be checking up on and making sure that people are pulling their weight, because it is what you get out what you put in. And if you put in and you put that effort in, you're going to see the benefits. So I think that's the theme of this I'm sensing is really that quality over quantity piece. And that's truly what this is. This is a higher level group of community and networkers than any others that you're really going to find in the area. And that's something that we really take to heart, both within NIA and within our respective practices as well. So that's a good piece there. Good. I believe I covered all those points. So in the spirit of time, I'll let everyone go. So at the end of here, if you're interested in,
you are free to go.
Yeah, see you later. No, if you are interested, and I haven't already spoken to you about Key Connectors here, we have 2 official members of the group. We have a couple other verbal commitments for the group as well. If I haven't spoken to you already, again, and you're interested, type your email into the chat box. I'll send out an email with context, some recaps from this, some additional highlights that we may or may not have forgotten. And then also I want to invite everyone here to the Business Lab. So we mentioned that, and again, that's a huge benefit that I see. If you can read, it looks a little blurry on my screen. Hopefully you can read some of that. But we have a really awesome speaker coming on this Thursday. I have the information there, and I'll send out that information via email as well if you don't already have that. But that's this Thursday, and we want to be able to make sure that everyone can get that experience and see what the Business Labs are all about firsthand.
Yeah, and Simon really raves about this speaker. He's very understated when it comes to speakers, and he loves Martina. Maybe it's because she's Austrian and he's Swiss. I don't know. He's got like an alliance with her, but he said it's going to be really awesome training, and that is really applies to like everybody in business, no matter what your role is or what your industry is. So they're not all, that's not the case for all of the training, but he really feels that's true for this particular one. So if you can come, we'd love to have you.
It's a unique experience because usually this is just for members exclusively, correct?
Yeah, or a couple guests. We're usually limited by, like our locations. So having it be Zoom, we can extend the invitation out broader.
Once in a lifetime opportunity here.
Right.
Great. Well, are there any ending comments, questions, concerns, excitements? Doesn't look like it.
Well, I'm excited, Stephen, that you're getting this group going, and I'm excited for Lakewood and West Denver because I know a lot of the West Denver people I meet, they don't want to cross the 25. It's like big, scary downtown. So they want to stay like in Wheat Ridge and Golden and Lakewood. So I think it's going to be a big success.
Yeah, me too. I'm excited for it.
Good luck.
Yeah, thank you.
I think it's good for all of us.
Yeah.
Good.